am currently trying to get the perfect placement for the truss on the axle. Everything looks pretty good except for this left-hand corner here. There is a good gap there, and then it's even worse in the back. Hey, what's up, Brite Nation? So I don't know how I got this lucky again, but Kevin, Brittany, and Chris are out of town, and I have lots of welding to do. The last solo video that I did was nothing but welding. So that's what I'm gonna be doing for the next couple days. I have some to do on my LJ, and then I also have some to do on the orange bouncer that you guys have seen in recent videos. So I'm ready to get my Miller gear on and take you guys along for the ride. This is the first project I'm gonna start on. It's the Rockzilla kit from Rock Krawler. We have already fit it to the frame of the LJ. It's being held up by clamps right now, and it's actually already prepped to be welded. It's just a matter of getting that baby ready to go and getting started. So I have officially made a mess, made the shop smell like fumes, but I did get the Rockzilla kit welded on. It looks okay. It was a bit more challenging than I thought, but I think that there's still like internal rust or possibly a little bit of powder coat. So it just didn't go down like as smooth as I wanted it to, but it was only in like a couple areas. It is day 2 of being in the shop, and I've got my axles to get to and truss kits to get on. But before I get started on that, I do want to share something with you guys that I'm a bit embarrassed to share. However, I feel like it's important for us to show the mistakes that we make too, because it is a part of the learning process, and you know, hopefully you guys can learn from it also. So yesterday I was pretty bummed with how my welds turned out, and even this morning I was bummed. So I basically went down the list of what makes an unhealthy weld. And just so you guys know, I did have a good ground. I had the gas on, I had the welder on, and I measured the thickness of the steel. Settings on the welder were set accordingly, and I had the garage doors shut, so there wasn't a breeze coming through. I did have the surface completely grinded down, and I thought I was totally ready to go. My welds just weren't that clean, and even as I was going along, I thought if I changed the settings of the welder and brought it down so I could weld slower and push the gas out at an angle, it would help, and it really didn't. So I believe I have narrowed it down to what caused the welds to not be that pretty. In welding, there is a term called porosity. You'll know it when you see it because little pinholes will appear in your welds. And sometimes you don't see them because they will actually be in the welds. Basically that happens when you don't have a clean surface before you get started. And I am pretty sure that is what happened. To give you guys a better look, I went ahead and completely grinded this weld down, and you could see like some areas weren't too bad, but then you know, you see the pinholes that I was talking about right here, and there's quite a bit of it, and you could see that I had grinded here, so there was a clean surface on the frame, and then also a clean surface for the weld on the Rockzilla kit. There's a little bit of powder coat still here on the frame, but as long as you have like an inch on each side of where you're gonna be welding, you should be fine. The reason we haven't gotten all of the powder coat off the frame is because we do plan to have it sandblasted before it gets painted. So we're just kind of focusing on the areas that we're gonna be welding as far as getting the powder coat off. However, details here. This Rockzilla kit was fitted probably 2 months ago. And you guys already know that because it was in my last LJ video. And you guys also know that the entire Lite Brite team has been on the road traveling. So this has totally been sitting here. So what I think has happened over the time that it's been here, and then us like working on the CJ and the orange bouncer, we create messes and there's a lot of dirt and grime in the air. And that has all settled on this. And as you can see, run my fingers, and there's even like some residue on there now. I did not wipe this down before I started. I literally was like, oh yeah, we already prepped it and I'm just gonna go for it, when clearly I should have prepped it more. So I do plan to go back and fix this because the Rockzilla kit is high quality and I have invested so much into this build and I want it to be as good as possible and as durable as possible. So lesson of the day, wipe down everything before you start welding, even if you think it looks clean. This is my awesome Dana 70, the rear axle to the LJ, and that is the truss kit that I'm going to be welding on today. This is one solid piece, and then it comes with these two slide-in pieces that notch in, as you can see, on both sides. But you guys already know the first thing I'm gonna do is take the truss off and completely wipe down the axle and make sure it is clean and ready to go. Okay, so I just took the grinder and took off the coating that was on the axle, and now you guys are gonna witness me wiping down the axle to get all of the dirt and the residue off before I start welding. Okay, so now I will get the welder set up and then I will fit the truss onto the axle and start tacking. I am currently trying to get the perfect placement for the truss on the axle. Everything looks pretty good except for this left-hand corner here, because there is a good gap there. This needs to be welded right here, and so does this little circle piece, and then it's even worse in the back. I did try moving it over to the right to see if it would kind of close up that gap, and it didn't. It also made this look not as nice. So I moved it back and I phoned a friend, AKA Chris, but he is at a wedding today and I don't expect him to get back to me. So my plan is to move on to these two truss kits. They both are for front axles. One will go on the pebble bouncer and the other one is for my LJ. I was just asked to tack these up because these need quite a bit of fab work to fit the axles. So until I hear back from Chris, that is what I'm gonna be doing, and then I will follow up with you guys later on that rear axle truss.
No time to worry about the past. Await the future to come at last. This time tomorrow, I will be gone. A faded memory.
I got the front truss kits all tacked up and ready for the next step. And the reason I moved the table way over there is because I now have this to work on. This is the rear axle for the pebble bouncer. And I just need to weld this small truss piece on. It doesn't quite fit either, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of fab work and cut this out with the plasma cutter and make it look beautiful and like it was originally supposed to be like that. And yeah, get this welded up. after I got done plasma cutting yesterday, I had to make some more adjustments and kind of just grind away a little bit until this placement fit perfectly on each side. Really the only thing that was hanging me up was right in here. So I had to cut away a lot on this side, and I didn't want to cut the logo out, so I kind of just went around there and then tried to make it look the same on the other side. But most importantly, it is fitting really nicely around each edge for the welds to go. And then I cleaned all of this up, so this is very, very, very clean. The truss is officially welded on. Look at how amazing these welds turned out. Just to show you guys what good prep does, makes the world's difference. Okay. Alrighty, so we are back to my Dana 70 and putting this truss on. I did hear back from Chris, and he suggested me to tack down the right-hand side first because it fits well, and then work with the left-hand side and try to apply pressure to get it to fit as close as possible. He did recommend using a clamp, and to be honest, the strap is kind of my idea. I'm gonna see how it goes, because I don't think a clamp is gonna have like a lot of stability in this situation. So I'm gonna try this strap, and if the strap works, I will go ahead and tack down the left-hand side and then remove the strap and then weld everything up. Heck yes, you guys, that worked, like nicely, painlessly. Everything is seated across the board exactly where I need it to be, so I can go ahead and start tacking and get this thing welded up. I don't know why I was so nervous. Maybe because if this didn't work, I didn't know what else I was gonna do. Maybe have a friend come sit on it and weigh it down for me, I don't know. I'm just glad that I'm gonna have this completely done before everyone gets back. So super excited, ready to get this thing welded. All right, you guys, it is finally welded up. I think it went pretty smooth. I did go ahead and remove a weld that was here and one on the other side, just because I'm a huge fan of clean looks. So I'm probably going to go ahead and remove this one and the other one on the other side. So that way, like, the entire top is clean and just the welds will be on the bottom. I already did the same to the back. As you can see, it is completely smooth up top, and the welds are just at the bottom. I think it looks pretty good that way. The fitment looks pretty good. Not too bad. I'm happy with it. So I just spent quite a bit of time cleaning up the unhealthy welds that I showed you guys earlier on the Rockzilla kit. Took the welds completely out, wiped everything down, and should be ready to start welding now. And hopefully these beads will turn out a lot better. Just to show you guys really quick before I start welding, the welds are gone, totally smoothed out, wiped down, clean. Then I also have another one on the other side. Let's get to welding. All right, you guys, so I am officially done with everything that I said I was gonna get done with in the beginning of this video. And the frame is completely done. The welds look great. There's no more little pinholes in there, and they're strong and they're healthy, and that's honestly all that I care about right now. They turned out kind of pretty. I mean, they could be better, but at least it's consistent, which I am really big on because I like them all to look like fat caterpillars, basically. So, yep, the axles are done, but the trusses, the other two are tacked up and ready for some work later. And then the Rockzilla kit is officially on. Let me show you guys these welds real quick. I tried to clean them up a little bit so you guys could see how much nicer it looks. Everything looks fluent. So I'm pretty happy. Chris and I always love a clean shop before we get started on our next project. So now that I have the shop clean and everything is done that I needed to get done, I'm going to go enjoy what's left of the weekend. And I am super appreciative of you guys being patient with me throughout this and learning with me. I will catch you guys next time. As always, thank you so much for watching. You can like and subscribe, please, and find all of your Lite Brite merch and decals at litebritstudios.com. See you guys.